Hello there and a very good evening. You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, for TVS English News at 5. And these are the headlines. Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Joritun Openg received a courtesy call from Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Patinggi Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi at Wisma Bapa, Malaysia today. Shortly after, Ahmad Zahid, who is also the Minister of Rural and Regional Development, chaired the meeting on the coordination of rural and regional development projects in Sarawak. Now, yesterday, he arrived for a 2-day working visit and attended the closing ceremony of the Gawai Dayak celebration organized by Parti Rakyat Sarawak (PRS) in Sri Aman. Now, the tallest flagpole in Malaysia is not a government project, and this was reiterated by the Premier's Chief Political Secretary Fazruddin Abdul Rahman, rebutting on Democratic Action Party's DAP Sarawak Chairman Chong Cheng Jen, who accused the government for not being transparent about the utilization of state funds. He said the 99-meter flagpole was built with a 30 million ringgit budget undertaken by a private company as part of their corporate social responsibility.
Stressing that no state funds were used to build the flagpole, Fazruddin noted that the initiative as the flagpole is now a symbol of pride for Sarawak that serves as a tourist attraction. This, in turn, will uplift the socio-economic nearby. Hence, he urged Chong to not twist the fact, accusing the state government to gain political mileage. On top of that, Fazruddin disclosed several initiatives that utilize the state funds for the benefit of the people, including 1 billion ringgit for dilapidated schools and 6.7 billion ringgit through the Sarawak Kusayang Special Assistance BKSS. To this, he urged Chong to partake in the spirit of the unity government. Instead of publishing reckless remarks, Fazruddin invites both Chong and DAP to prioritize the needs of the people by collaborating closely with the Sarawak government.
Over the weekends, multiple complaints were lodged regarding a sex doll being sold on a famous online shopping platform that resembled the figure of a child. This has caught the attention of Minister of Youth and Sports, Hannah Yeoh, who urged authorities to conduct investigations on both the sellers and buyers in order to protect the vulnerable group from being sexualized.
Sex toy seperti ini, saya rasa polis kena pergi tengok siapa yang telah membeli sex toy dan seller, bukan saja seller tetapi buyer ini saya rasa ada masalah di mana mereka perlu menjalani counselling. Yang itu sangat penting lah. This is not a normal behavior.
Through the complaints, the seller was identified to be based in Selangor. Shopee has recently responded to the matter by blocking several accounts identified to be selling such products, while urging customers to continue filing complaints if products of such nature are found on its platform. The company stated selling such product violates the law, where both the seller and the buyer can be punished under Section 292 Bracket A of the Penal Code. As such, Hannah lauded the swift action of Malaysians in trying to resolve the issue.
I want to thank the awareness, I think, in Malaysia now, where there are a lot of activists who are on the lookout for greater protection for our younger generation. So, ini bukan saja kanak-kanak tetapi belia jugalah.
Welcome back on TVS News at 5. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ri Ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and the Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria conveyed their condolences to the families of the 4 Malaysian Hajj pilgrims who sadly died while performing the pilgrimage in Mecca recently.
They were identified as Salinda Musni Salehan, 56, Muhammad Zaini Muhammad Esa, 60, Razi Taib, 72, and Bibi Hasbi Bujang, 74. In a post on Istana Negara's Facebook page, Their Majesty expressed their sadness over the passing and hoped that the family members remained patient and strong during this difficult period. The first batch of Malaysian Hajj pilgrims is scheduled to return home this Wednesday, July 5th, and the final flight of a total of 98 flights is expected on July 31st.
The Election Commission, EC, will hold a meeting chaired by EC Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh on Wednesday, July 5th, to determine the dates for the 6 state elections, in addition to the nomination and polling dates.
EC Secretary Dato' Ikmaluddin Ishak confirmed that the EC has received notice of the official dissolution of the 14th State Legislative Assembly DUN for the states of Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pulau Pinang, Selangor, and Negeri Sembilan from the respective DUN speakers. Other matters to be discussed are 15th state elections, such as election writ, nomination day, polling day, electoral rolls to be used, and other preparation for the polls.
3 non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, have filed a legal challenge over the Health Ministry's decision to remove nicotine from the lists of controlled substances under the Poisons Act 1952. The advocacy groups are alleging that the minister has acted illegally, irrationally, and with procedural impropriety. The Malaysian Council for Tobacco Control, Malaysian Green Lung Association, and Voice of the Children Sendirian Berhad filed the leave for judicial review application through Kasanalingam and Company at the High Court on June 30th. They named the Health Minister and the government as the first and second respondents, respectively. According to the groups, the minister's actions have not only been disproportionate, but have also failed to prioritize public health, a duty that the minister is obligated to uphold. Instead, the groups claim that revenue collection has taken precedence over the well-being of the public. They claim that the ministry's decision would allow electronic cigarettes and vape products with nicotine to be sold openly and legally to anyone, including children and adolescents aged below 18, without any form of regulation or control, as there is currently no regulation or legislation regulating electronic cigarettes and vape products with nicotine. The groups further contend that the minister's exercise of power under Section 6 of the Poisons Act is unconstitutional and exceeds the legislative power granted to the Parliament by Article 66 of the Federal Constitution. They raise concerns about the legality and validity of the minister's decision-making process. The applicants are seeking a certiorari order to quash the amendment on the law provision made on March 31st. In world news, the number of mass shootings in the United States have not dwindled, though countermeasures were made in terms of policies by President Joe Biden. Most recently, 2 people were shot dead, an 18-year-old woman and a 20-year-old man, while 28 others were injured and are currently under medical care. Acting Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley disclosed that the current tally of victims from the shooting are 30 people with ages ranging from 13 to 32 years old.
We're here today to provide an update on a mass shooting that occurred earlier this morning. Just after 12:30 a.m., we received calls for a shooting. We located 10 victims on scene. 1 victim, adult female, was pronounced deceased on the scene. 9 additional victims were transported from the scene to local hospitals. Shortly after, 20 additional victims walked into local and regional hospitals with various injuries.
Police are currently on a manhunt for multiple suspects, and witnesses with information or video footages are urged to come forward to facilitate the investigation. Mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, said the owning a gun illegally is still very accessible in the country. However, authorities are constantly on the lookout to remedy the matter.
This year alone, the Baltimore Police Department has seized 1,345 illegal guns that were in the hands of people that should not have them, yet had them anyway because they're so easy for them to obtain.
The Baltimore shooting occurred shortly after midnight at the Brooklyn Day block party in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Baltimore. Witnesses told a local media outlet that they had heard about 20 to 30 shots fired. Over in Europe, France has been inundated with unrest that spread as far as Belgium following the shooting of a 17-year-old teenager, Nahel M., by a police officer. In Nanterre, flowers and placards were placed on the crime scene where Nahel was shot, but a possibility of another protest breaking is not ruled out as police officers were deployed along the road. On the other hand, those who did not participate in the protests are happy that it is much calmer for now, but were left devastated with their properties destroyed.
Very glad it is calming down, and at the same time, I'm not very happy about everything we have been through, because there are people, we don't know how they managed to get their car, their store, set up their store, maybe also took loans for what they had, and then all it takes is one night of trouble and they've lost everything. It is not their fault, everything that happened.
During the unrest, various shops were looted, vehicles were stolen and burned, while many buildings that houses both permanent residents and visitors in France were burned, rendering some with no place to go. An Olympic swimming pool under construction was also set on fire during the incident. The killing of Nahel has revived long-standing questions about the state of the French police and the inability of consecutive governments to reform an institution bound by powerful unions. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching.